conspiracy theories that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
These are scenes from a much different Egypt than we have been shown in our history books, showing a very buried city under the sand, pyramids built right on top of ancient tree stumps, and a sphinx that looks much different than the face we see today. And when I say built on top of ancient tree stumps, just look at this map from Cairo. Let's take a little closer look onto the top right of it. All those pyramids right on top of flat top mountains, or as we know them here, ancient trees. Everything has been reshaped in this world we know, mostly in part to hide our true past, our true origins, the true purpose of these structures like the pyramids. I think they were once part of an advanced civilization's free energy network, and they definitely go a lot deeper than we see. We have just started unburying from the last reset. What do you think the true purpose of the pyramids were? Let me know in the comments. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Would it be crazy if some of the pyramids were carved out of trees and now they're just petrified?
He aims the camera up at the sky and catches this phenomenon. Look at the hexagons in the sky. Some kind of grid or screen, or what is that?
What is going on right now?
This is crazy that we live in a Blue Jay type of setting, you know, from the Hunger Games.
All over the planet. Many millions of black people that you will see who will be rolling in money. They'll be able to showcase the places where they live. They'll be able to showcase their knowledge and expertise. So you have television now, you have all of the mediums for doing this, for showcasing huge numbers of black people. I will say it will eventually run into the millions. So many that you won't be able to count them. Now, what is this for? This is for any black person that starts talking about racism in the future is going to be laughed at, because they're going to be able to showcase so many black people who are what you call quote unquote successful, that it will seem that racism has been put out of business. But white supremacy is a world business, and like any other business, it works on profits and losses, which means percentages. You go into business, you expect a certain amount.
This is the first problem. You cannot equate, see, as soon as you begin to equate money with slavery, you're wrong. I mean, you're wrong, because it's a condition. There were brothers, and I went all the way on the plantation. I've been doing it for 8 years. I went all the way on the plantation. There were slaves, there were jockeys who were making lots of money. Slave jockeys. There was a brother named Charles.
1700s and 1800s?
Oh man, there was a brother named Charles Stewart who was a trainer. We're talking about 1810. This brother was a trainer. He had his owners. He was in charge of his owner's stables. At a time when black people weren't supposed to leave state without a pass, this guy had his runners, and you know what? He was making so much money, he had to hire an agent because he was making so much money. But guess what? Charles Stewart was a slave. He was sold 3 or 4 times. Only difference is he could negotiate the terms of his.
But getting back to your point, you're saying money shouldn't be associated with slavery. Is that what you're saying?
Money has nothing to do with the condition. It's the condition of slavery, not necessarily how much money you have.
All right, let me go to Armstrong Williams.
Bill Schneider
Let me know how you feel about this in the comment.
was showing samples of what he claimed were unknown exotic metals. He provided maps of the underground dumbs and showed off dramatic scars that he claimed were from a violent skirmish with a non-human species deep underground. In January of 1996, Schneider was found dead in his home, days after he mysteriously died of strangulation. Investigations were never completed, and it was ruled a suicide. His evidence went missing. Before he died, Phil Schneider used his clearance to take investigative author Alex Christopher into the top underground levels of the Denver airport, where they took pictures of a long road heading off to multiple destinations. Built upon 53 square miles of land, 25 miles from downtown, the Denver airport was billions of dollars over budget. different contractors were hired for each section, some of whom have come forward and claimed it would take days to show you what's down there. Inside the otherwise unimpressive airport, there is a capstone with cryptic Illuminati and Masonic imagery, marking a time capsule buried beneath, to be opened in 2094. The airport opened with a famous 4-piece mural depicting biological warfare, death and destruction, the surrender of all national sovereignty, and the emergence of a new religion. On the floor, for no apparent reason, is what appears to be the symbol for gold and silver in a mining cart, AUAG, which is also the abbreviation for a deadly strain of hepatitis discovered in 1965. Outside on the surface, the runways form the shape of a swastika, and passengers are greeted by what has become known as Blucifer, a 32-foot horse with glowing red eyes that reportedly killed its creator when a piece of the sculpture came loose and severed an artery in his leg. This is why many people are talking about Denver's bug-out bag program, which is good, because now that we know who the people committing these historic crimes against humanity are, we can't just let them slip away into some hole somewhere.
I heard that, Die Hard 2, the gunfight scenes were all carried out there before it opened.
These structures were embedded into the mountain, and they were all reflective. So their mission was to recon that. So they sent a Sparrow down to do that.
Okay.
The Sparrow lands. It was determined that it was not feasible for humans to exit Sparrow because of the harsh environment. So they sent out this robotic entity they call the Fender.
Okay.
It's bipedal. It's extremely strong. It has all sorts of video cameras, power systems. So the Fender goes up to this structure that is embedded into this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everything the Fender is doing, the astronauts can direct it. As it enters, it has to illuminate the interior because there's only a dimly lit.
Mm-hmm.
As it moves along, it finds a row of control panels. And behind each control panel is this robotic entity. It's as if they were wearing a fencer mask.
Were they on? Were they doing something?
No, there was no power at all. They were not functional.
On a previous Kronos mission to Mars, they encountered robots in an underground facility. Were these robots on Pluto similar or the same type of robots?
The robots that were found on Mars are the exact same species of robot they found on Pluto.
Okay, wow, we're dealing with the same race. Okay.
We're dealing with the same race.
So what race was it?
We think it was the reptilians.
So we've been to Pluto. What about Uranus?
Much like the pyramids that are found worldwide, it is not just the Great Sphinx in Egypt. There are also sphinxes reported all over this world. Many of them, the mainstream tries to dismiss as nothing more than natural formations. But that is what they do to dismiss anything that goes against their paper history. Their history that is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon. But look for yourself here. Are these just natural formations found worldwide that all just so happen to look like the Sphinx? Or have we been lied to about so much in our history? I believe most of what the mainstream dismisses as natural formations, hillsides, mountains, hide a lot more buried right beneath the surface. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Egypt was a great empire at one point. They had to have built their civilization when the world was Pangea.
Have you heard of the contract between the Vatican and the King of England? Listen to this.
A lot of people do not know the Vatican made a contract with the King of England back in the Middle Ages, where the Pope said that he declared himself the vicar of Christ. The word vicar in Latin simply means someone who stands in for someone else. Today we know the Pope is the vicar of Christ. What does that mean? According to the Vatican concept that God created the whole heavens and he created the earth, he gave the earth to Jesus, his son. But since Jesus is not here right now, somebody has to run the earth. So consequently, the Pope is going to stand in for him till he gets here, right? So he's the vicar of Christ. However, the Pope is very busy and he doesn't have time. So he made a contract between the King of England and the papacy in which the Pope set up the whole world in a trust and gave it to the King of England to rule the world. And at that time, the people who were called English became known as British. British comes from a Hebrew word berith. In Hebrew, the word berith is a contract or a covenant. And ish in Hebrew means man or men. Therefore, berith-ish, contract man. This is why in the Western world, anything you're going to do in business requires a contract. That's the way the Vatican set it up. All international banking is based on contract. Consequently, all international banking law is based on Vatican canon law. Now, how many people know that?
The Vatican is Rome, and they used religion to take over the world. You can never change my mind. Peace and love, y'all. Yeah.
Is that a moon? It looks like a, what is it? Roulette table.
At a junk store in Fresno, California, this photo was purchased for $2. It's now worth upwards of $5 million. The reason? It's a 4x5-inch photo. It's known as a tintype. It's taken in the summer of 1878. A group of people potentially at a wedding. They're playing croquet in front of that cabin. But the fourth person on the left is none other than Billy the Kid, one of only 2 known photos of the outlaw. The Kid famously had a 4-year run as an outlaw before dying in a gunfight at age 21 in New Mexico. This is the only other known photo of him. It was taken in New Mexico in 1880. Now, this is hardly the first time a historic item has been found at a random location. In 2005, 2 art dealers were at an estate sale in New Orleans. They purchased this painting for $1,200. The reason they even purchased it is that they thought it was what they called a sleeper painting that is done by a much better artist than suggested, thus making it more valuable. Long story short, they sent it to a famous restoration artist in New York. Over this process, and particularly when she cleaned away the overpainting, she was able to identify a number of characteristics that were just like Leonardo da Vinci. Now, it's been very controversial in the art community, but basically it's known as the Salvator Mundi, or the Lost Leonardo. 12 years after the painting was purchased for $1,200 at that estate sale and sold for $450 million in 2017 at auction, it makes it the most expensive artwork ever sold.
But Billy only had a 4-year run? Whoa.
This is the Nexus apparatus. First full test is scheduled for tomorrow morning. We've programmed the window for the year 30 AD, exactly as agreed. I'll document the calibration tonight.
This is the garment I'll be taking with me tomorrow. It's patterned after a Judean workman's tunic, undyed linen, rope belt, hand-finished seams, nothing that should draw attention. First Nexus apparatus test is set for 09.
The recorder we'll be sending through tomorrow. It's built to withstand the field and run on its own tape for 16 hours. We'll be using it to document events in the year 30 AD, so it has to look and sound.
This is the micro camera. The lens is right there in the center. Whole unit's about the size of a penny built into a bronze pendant. We'll wear it just like this. Tomorrow, during the first Nexus apparatus test, this will be our recorder.
So they went back in time, dressed like a Jedi?
If you thought this documentary was disturbing, wait till you see this documentary. I saw people on Reddit who were like, do not watch this unless you want your life ruined. And I was like, oh, I've seen a lot of stuff. I could handle this. No. This is about disabled children in Bulgaria who are abandoned by their parents who don't want them. They are sent to live in these homes where they are severely neglected and abused. If you love documentaries, hit follow because I post daily. Nothing could have prepared me for what I was gonna see in this documentary. One little girl's leg is broken and she's taken to the nurse who just puts cream on her feet while she's screaming and doesn't do anything else. They're all skin and bones and just defecating on themselves. One girl is there who's just mildly autistic, and then by the end of the documentary, she's been so tormented by being there, she's like not even the same person. The staff beats the kids who help with the laundry. None of them have access to proper healthcare, proper food, like nothing, and a lot of them die there. According to this documentary, there are plenty of institutions like this all over the country.
Wow. Peoples are evil.
This man developed symptoms of rabies. On the 3rd day of the disease, he displays a characteristic restlessness and agitation. The most familiar clinical symptom of rabies is associated with difficulty in swallowing. When fluid comes in contact with the throat, it is violently expelled, at the same time producing painful, spasmodic muscular contractions. Hence the term hydrophobia, or fear of water. The accessory muscles of respiration are also affected by the attempt to swallow, so that the patient chokes and gasps for air. In order to avoid swallowing, he drools accumulated saliva into a cup.
Oh God. That's horrible to watch.
By the 5th day, salivation is copious and almost continuous. There is excessive perspiration, and the pupils are dilated. As a precaution against the convulsions which commonly occur in rabies, the patient is secured hand and foot. He displays increasing agitation and delirium. If the acute excitement phase of rabies is survived, paralysis sets in, accompanied by apathy and stupor. Becomes quieter. He lapses into a coma, which is followed inevitably by death.
Wow. Well, can they hydrate him with an IV, and they couldn't give him something to ease the suffering?
This is the first actual footage that shows how trawling works. You see, it's brutal fishing technique, and fishermen drag heavy-weighted nets on the ocean floor to seep all the living creatures. The problem? After destroying huge habitats, only about 1/3 of the catch is actually useful. The rest, which are unwanted and already dead, are tossed back. So, some governments came up with a brilliant defense. They drop massive rocks into trawling zones. These rocks snag and destroy the nets, making it too risky and expensive for trawlers to operate.
Good. We have only one planet. Take care of it. This is sick. Yeah, man. So many sick people in this world.
If you want
Wow, that's crazy.
to impose nuclear war on China, you will be wiped out by nuclear war. If you want to have war, you will get war. If you want to destroy China, you will be destroyed. This is very serious. China's policy is very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. China is the only country with hydrogen bomb. And that ICBM can cover every corner of the world in less than 20 minutes and destroy any target in any corner of the world without any possibility of being intercepted. I hope Washington has learned the lesson.
They were trying to save time by skipping the safety machines. As soon as the 7th bucket was poured, the room flashed a brilliant blue. His DNA was shattered. He was kept alive for 83 days while his skin fell off.
A machine in ancient hands. When conservators unwrapped a recently studied mummy, they found a seal pressed into the wrappings, showing a device that simply shouldn't exist. Gears, levers, even what looks like a rotating core.
Why would NASA, a space agency, explore the ocean? Woman gets eaten. Seconds after recording. What? The alligator pooped out the GoPro? So much. Oh man. Mongolia.
Did you know the Khmer Rouge turned a high school into the most documented killing machine in history? In 1975, Cambodia's Tuol Sleng High School became S-21 prison under Commander Duc. What happened next was pure evil disguised as political education. Over 14,000 people entered those classrooms. Only 7 survived. Prisoners were chained to metal beds in former study halls and tortured with waterboarding, electric shocks, and nail extraction. But here's the twisted part. Guards photographed every session, creating a detailed archive of human suffering. They were trained to keep victims alive as long as possible to extract confessions that were always false. One woman named Bofana was tortured for months. Her love letters to her husband were kept as evidence. When the prison was discovered, investigators found thousands of photographs documenting each victim's final moments. The Khmer Rouge had created an industrial murder facility that looked like a school. Every torture session was recorded. Every scream was documented. It wasn't just killing. It was the complete destruction of human dignity, one photograph at a time.
You know the leader? I forgot his name. He died of an old age in the jungle.
Guys, watch this to the end.
I have the heart of a small boy. I keep it in a jar on my desk.
I bet you get a lot of mileage out of that one.
I have never used that line before in my entire life.
When they show you who they are, believe them.
You get this on your phone?
Yeah.
They're just hanging there. They were lower a minute ago. Stay behind the truck, all right?
All right.
All right.
There they go.
I didn't know they made steel ships in the 15th century.
These were the real-life Powerpuff Girls, and their story is truly terrifying. In 1958, deep in the Nevada desert, the U.S. government launched a secret project called Operation Blossom. It was led by a strange scientist named Dr. Clyde People. The goal? To create living weapons by rewriting human DNA. After years of failed trials, Dr. People succeeded, creating 3 genetically modified girls. Emily, who had super strength, Rose, who could control machines with her mind, and June, whose mind control was so powerful that even the other scientists were afraid of her. To keep the girls from using their powers, they were fitted with metal collars that could shut their abilities down instantly. But things soon got darker. They were tested endlessly, kept in isolation, and treated like weapons, not children. One night during an experiment, June secretly used her mind control on Dr. People. Without realizing it, he placed the remote for the collars under the table and walked away. That night, the girls found it. They freed themselves. Then all hell broke loose. Emily shattered the walls. Rose shut down the alarms and sealed the exits. And June froze every guard in her path. Without saying a word, they escaped into the desert, leaving the lab in ruins. The government searched for years, but they were never found. Later, in declassified reports, officials mentioned sightings of 3 pregnant women near abandoned military bases. Their story was erased from history. But one question remains. Where are they now?
Who remembers a movie similar to this story? Sicko, man. Wow.
He obviously had the right to a lawyer. The interrogators, however, inform him that they do have a search warrant for his house, his vehicle, and his phone. They also take a DNA swab that matches the one they got from the evidence. After the case was taken to court, Fleer was charged with 20 felonies and sentenced to 12 years in prison. The crime report
12
showed
years?
that there were around 4 victims, but it was revealed later that he had been in contact with around 41 girls on Snapchat. Most of them were under 9 years of age. Fleer would use his uniform to coerce them into giving their addresses. Since he was the police officer, the girls would be too scared to tell anyone else in the force. He used to ask the girls if there were any girls or friends they knew who were even younger than them. He would even offer money as a bribe to the girls in hopes of being hooked up with more underage girls. The graphic crimes had been in motion from March 27th, 2020 till April 8th. If you think this case was
Sick, man. Anything to do with kids should be an automatic life. And then, maybe things will change. Oh, poor girl. Just saying, could have attached a water bottle or some food and medical supply to the drone to at least, give her a fighting chance.
I had to become a Freemason because you can't get involved in Satanism on the hardcore level without first being a Freemason. So that was my official shrine portrait, which they took as part of my initiation. I was ready to become involved in hardcore Satanism. What did that mean? Well, that meant I had to sell my soul to the devil. I had to sign my name on the contract in blood. I had to sign my name in the black book.
Did you know that before the infamous Tokyo subway attack, a secret group predicted multiple end dates for the world? Members who broke away from Aum Shinrikyo formed their own doomsday cult in Tokyo. They disappeared without a trace, leaving behind an abandoned building. When police finally entered, they found something chilling. Every wall was covered in countdown clocks, dozens of them, each one set to a different date, different years, different apocalypses. But here's what made investigators freeze. Some of the clocks were still ticking, still counting down, to dates that haven't happened yet.
This is a cathedral in the south of France, in a place called Narbonne. And this cathedral, like many other cathedrals, was designed by the Knights Templar and sympathizers of the Knights Templar. Now, we know through the confessions of the Knights Templar that they were involved in black magic, and they had idols called Baphomets. And, really the big joke about these cathedrals is that people pay thousands of pounds to come on pilgrimages, say from Germany or Yugoslavia or somewhere. People think they're going to have a wonderful Christian spiritual holiday. Well, that's far from the truth. The truth of the matter is that this is a Kabbalistic temple, and it contains carvings of most of the demons that you find in ancient magical scriptures, such as the Ars Goetia, the Testament of Solomon, the Clavicule of Solomon, and many of the other magical texts that have made their way into Europe from ancient Babylon, ancient Chaldea, which is a province of Babylon, and from Sumeria as well. Well, the truth of the matter is that many people who claim to be cardinals and priests and members of the Catholic Church are actually involved in black magic. And there is such a thing as a black mass. Now, the black mass is exactly the same as the Catholic mass, except everything is reversed. And instead of praising Jesus and God, they praise Satan and Lucifer.
Chia, come on, babe. Come on. Come and eat dinner. We love you, babe.
Come back to normal.
Please.
That's him.
Oh, did you know the people there?
I do not want to continue.
I'll give you 20K, alright? What?
We've got a lot of missing person reports from hunters who go missing, hikers who go missing, people who just want to go out for a walk in the woods missing. These are people who know the trails, they know the areas that they're going into, and they're never heard or seen from again.
Others describe being followed through the trees, hearing low growls just outside their tents, or finding claw marks in the dirt come morning. Bodies have been found here, dismembered and left deep in the woods.
You killed your sister.
Oh, I remember her. What's her name? You know, that smirk was him reliving the moment.
You're a multidimensional being consisting of a mental, astral, and etheric and physical body. Mind over matter, because the mind is the highest plane of existence before God. The mental plane is what affects all of the planes below it. The world you see, the physical world, is the world of effect. In order to change reality, you have to change your mind. This world is an expression of your inside out. As within, so without.
Look at Elon Musk. He's not the same Elon Musk from 10 or 20 years ago. I think it's a combination of things. He just signed a $1 trillion contract with Tesla. He's going to have to make a bunch of targets to collect that money, but it's no longer about the technology. When is the last time you heard him talk about colonizing Mars? Time was you couldn't get him to shut up about colonizing Mars. What about the high-speed vacuum tube that we were supposed to go from LA to San Francisco in 45 minutes? What happened to that?
When I saw that $1 trillion deal, I had a thought that I was like, damn, I should have had this thought 15 years ago. Like when you look at the math, because it was already true then, but men are becoming countries.
Yes.
He's a country.
Yeah.
Oh. What? It's like 1,000 of them. Freshwater eel?
These two images are going viral on Instagram. One of Queen Elizabeth, just 2 days before she passed away, showing a dark mark on her hand. And another, now circulating online, of Donald Trump with a similar mark in the exact same spot. These images are being compared, side by side, fueling a bigger claim. Donald Trump is dead, and it's being covered up.
I think this is a common area of elders to get bruising in everyday activity.
And then you look at Hollywood. How many Holly weirdos have transgender kids? Transgender used to be like 1 out of a million, but in Hollywood it's like 1 out of 3. And if your kid, and even when they adopt the kid, somehow the kid turns trans. So even when the kid doesn't even have your DNA and it's from China or Africa, all of a sudden it becomes trans.
Wait, she's right.
Make it make sense. Deli cheese in a plastic bag. Bread in a plastic bag. Almond milk in a plastic jug. Blueberries in a plastic carton. Paper towels in a plastic wrap. Peppers in plastic. Plastic bags for your produce.
Yeah.
Meat wrapped in plastic.
Yeah.
But they won't give you a plastic bag or a brown bag.
Wow.
Unless if you pay for it, of course. Because we're saving the environment. Anybody explain that?
It's about compliance, not about logical thinking.
The sidewalk outside is filled with people waiting for the parade to start. Everyone is wearing whatever makes them feel most like themselves. Even if that means wearing hardly anything at all.
What? If someone ever talks like this to my kid, they're gonna face some serious consequences.
I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at movies from the 80s. Rocky, Rambo, Terminator, whatever. All the characters look like real heroes. They're in good shape, they're decisive, they're badass, etc. Now I want you to fast forward and look at the heroes of today. Skinny, not as muscular, effeminate, we don't know what gender he is, multicultural, bunch of and that should tell you guys something. As we've progressed, the heroes that were masculine have now been feminized.
Myron ain't wrong.
You need to watch this.
I lost a whole friend over yoga, y'all. Like, she asked me one day, hey, you want to go to yoga with me? And I was like, no, thank you. And she's like, why? And I was like, because I don't practice yoga. And she's like, why not? And I said, because it derives from another god. And she's like, oh my God, it isn't that deep. It's just exercise and stretching. I don't do it to worship another god. I said, well, you do realize that there are over 250 positions in yoga, and
some of the names, like, come
they
on.
are calling down spirits when you're in there. The names of these positions, they honor different spirits. Hinduism has 37,000 gods.
Wow.
37,000 gods. But the Bible says there's only one. Many will come in my name. I serve a very jealous God. So no, I'm not doing yoga.
I agree. Jesus is my God.
Oh, remember this dude?
I like the way you do that right there, right there. Switch your hips when you walk and let down your hair, down your hair. I like the way you do that right there.
His name is Chingy, and back in the 2000s, he had some of the biggest hits. Whether you were in the club, listening to the radio, or watching TV, his hits were right there. He was a star in the making, but then something crazy happened. He took this picture. And this picture was the reason why his career ended. You see, the woman in the picture was a transgender woman by the name of Sydney Starr. And once it came out that she was transgender, she used this picture to fabricate a relationship with Chingy. Nobody cared about proof. As soon as the culture caught wind of this, it was over. With his personal life now called into question, the record labels didn't even want to touch him. A few years later, she came out and admitted that she lied, but the damage was already done. This story is a perfect example of how perception can destroy your reputation. Most people don't respond to reality. They respond to imagery, emotions, and confirmation bias. The truth is, Chingy's career got taken out by a lie. Never forget, in a world built off perception, your reputation is a lot more fragile than you think.
He couldn't sue for defamation.
If we stopped fishing the ocean for 8 years, it would be back to nearly 100% fecundancy.
But we'd have to get all the countries on board.
Yeah.
That means
it's
for
impossible.
8 years, all the fishermen would starve.
And not to mention, fish
it.
is the primary source of protein for like the majority of the planet. We are wiping out, it's 100 million sharks a year we're killing. Just sharks. That is so many animals.
If we banned China's illegal commercial fishery, we would be in infinite better place.
My stepfather was the one that did it. He was the first man that did it. Here's the thing. The man never touched me again. I was a child. I was a baby. But here's the thing. During that time, his best friend lived with us. I don't know if because this happened and the man was aware of it. All I'm telling you is that for the next year or two, that man, the best friend, was abusing me regularly. It just became a thing. And this is why I tell you that children who are in these situations, when they go through them, they don't understand what's happening. And it's scary because you know that it's wrong. But then after a while, it keeps going on. And now the child thinks they're part of it. And I almost felt I was a part of it.
Darkness must come to the light. Respect to this woman. This will save a lot of souls.
To some alarming data when it comes to healthcare disparities among races.
Yeah, specifically, doctors saying that black infants experience the highest rate of infant mortality compared to other races. But why is that? So Kennedy Walker, she joins us live in studio. You've been trying to find the answers to that.
Yes. Good morning, Keith and Madison. Infant mortality remains a concern in the United States, but African-American babies have the greatest risk. Research shows that black newborns are more than twice as likely to die in their first year compared to white newborns. They are also nearly 4 times more likely to die from complications related to low birth weight, and that's according to the Office of Minority Health. Now, common causes of infant mortality are premature birth, low birth weight, and sudden infant death syndrome, more commonly known as SIDS. And some infant deaths and stillbirths, they are caused by an increase in chronic health conditions among black women before pregnancy, like type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. But historically, and we've said this before, data trends surrounding black maternal health outcomes, they are concerning. Black women have experienced higher rates of pregnancy complications, with them being 3 times more likely to die during pregnancy and childbirth than white women, regardless of income, education, or lifestyle. Experts credit this health disparity to structural and systemic racism, which can lead to chronic stress. And stress takes a toll on the body and could ignite biological changes in a woman that can affect
maternal mortality.
mortality in black women, and I would also add infant mortality along with it, because sometimes the mother dies, sometimes the child dies, sometimes they both die. I think it's poor prenatal care. I think it's also racism on the birthing table. We also have to look at how a lot of black women postnatal, post-birth, are not able to get pregnant again because whatever they're doing inside of her when they deliver that child, or post-cesarean section when they tie her back up. I think we need to look at more traditional modes of childbirthing. I think we need to go back to that. I would much recommend a home birth or a birthing center. Is with a modern birth, they put you on a table. You're laying vertically. Traditional birth, you stoop down. Modern birth, you're laying horizontally. Traditional birth, it's vertical. You stoop, your hips loosen.
Wow. Let me know how you feel about this in the comments.
OnlyFans should not be allowed to exist. A girl who I guess was famous or moderately famous, who just turned 18 and then started an OnlyFans and immediately made like $1 million. First 24 hours, she made $1 million. This girl, immediately upon turning 18, excitedly went out and became a prostitute. And not because she was desperate and poor and, you know, being sex trafficked or whatever. It's just because she wanted to. This is a new era of whorishness in our culture, because now we have a whole generation of prostitutes who cannot be in any way considered victims. Now, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, really any time, if a woman was a prostitute, that usually meant that she was poor, she was drug addicted, she was being exploited, which doesn't mean that she bears no blame at all, no moral guilt at all, but it usually meant like this is someone in a desperate situation. Usually there was a pimp, but these days, these women are their own pimps. I mean, the fact that women were given the opportunity to become prostitutes in the comfort of their own home, and so many millions of them eagerly took advantage of it, that's bleak.
The elite have to tell you things. They have to leave messages. The reason they have to do this is how they believe they get past karma. By telling you what they're going to do, they release their karma. Start paying attention to everything all around. Not many people understand how to read things like this. That's why it's coded.
You know, that poor sister needs closure. I really hope they close this case soon.
Hello, Myron. Did you see what happened to Northwest? What's your thoughts on it? In my opinion, Kim Kardashian is a monster and Kanye West was right all along. This is what happened when you have stupid parents that don't know what they're doing with no barriers or boundaries and letting her act like this. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is literally a kid. And then people get mad at Ye, saying, oh, bro, he crashing out. Oh, nigga, I'd crash out too if this shit was happening to my kid.
Ye was right about a lot of things.
Race of people have ever developed naturally on a planet where their own skin can't protect them properly from their own sun's radiation. So how do we account for the fact that white-skinned people are here on a planet where they should not exist? And once again, it all leads us back to the Anunnaki.
This is crazy. And he's white.
Please just stay home next time. Please just stay home. If you're 25 and you're thinking about coming to Disneyland, don't. Folks, it is after dark, and that means I can say what I want to say. Disney adults are genuinely weird. I'm talking about you guys. There's no kids on this cruise. Why are you here? This isn't on the script. This isn't part of the bit. I genuinely think you guys are weird for being on this cruise. At least when kids are riding, they laugh. You guys just sit there on your photo that you paid $500 to be here today. And you don't even have a good excuse for doing it because you're all at least 20. What the hell is that? Go to a club, go to a party, or stay inside. Don't bring the vibe down on my cruise. It's weird. Mickey Mouse isn't your friend. Trust me, I know. He's my boss. He bleeds me like a vampire. The magic of this place should have worn off for you guys when you reached the age of 12. And now I just gotta deal with your goofy asses ruining of engaging with the act. So I'm seriously pleading with...
Yo, the TV can hack your brain on your televisions. This is why I don't have TVs in my house.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
I'm glad that he's saying.
Hold on a second. Hold on. You ain't got a TV in the crib?
No.
So what?
Well, at least not in my room. I don't have it in my room.
So tell me what you have. Hold on. Okay, you got a.
I watch everything on my laptop because I mean, again,
It'll screw your dreams up.
Yeah. So people who not a lot of people do this.
Okay.
They go to sleep with the TV on. I cannot do that.
I have to. I have to.
No.
So hold on. I'm learning something new. Tell me about this. This is new.
So there's a patent on your TV, on the technology, to where they can basically manipulate your nervous system with electromagnetic frequencies. Okay, you're an electromagnetic being.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a patent. Look this up. Everybody can pull this up on Google Patents. They're controlling you through your TVs. No bullshit.
Yep.
Okay, so hold on.
But I think people that fall asleep in the complete dark is fucking crazy.
I do
that.
I heard the blue light keeps your brain awake.
I can find out whether you're a sociopath.
Ooh, tell me.
2 minutes or less.
Go. This is good.
A man shows up at a funeral. He goes to grieve the dead body at the wake. It was the wake. And he sees a woman near the casket and they exchange a glance. The man leaves. The funeral wraps up. A week later, that man killed that woman's mother. Why?
What?
Because that woman's mother was the mistress of his father.
You're not a sociopath.
Oh, why? What is it?
Because he wanted to see her again. The woman. And let me tell you where I got this test from. Somebody who used to be in my life, that person's father was a psychiatrist in one of the worst prisons in America. And they would actually do this test on the patients.
This is like, do not love your job. Job your love.
Y'all want to know why the Epstein list didn't come out?
Yes.
Mutually assured destruction.
Yes.
Everybody stop lying to yourself. I know it sounds good to say, hey, the president is on this list. Donald Trump is on this list. He might be. But I know I saw the flight logs. On the flight logs, there was a lot of elected officials from Israel. There was Bill Clinton. You know what I'm saying?
Royal family?
The royal family, Prince Andrew.
They all got to go down then.
But that's why it didn't come out. You got too many powerful people on that list. Mutually assured destruction. So whoever was in office was going to have to deal with that.
The list should have been the Great Reset.
So you don't believe it was divine or not divine? Or
No, I don't believe it was divine. I did see, as I got knocked back into the plane, it looked like a Dante's Inferno, with people strapped in to their seats and just burning. And it seemed to look like an aura was leaving their bodies. Some brighter than others. And it changed. It gave me a kind of the new spirituality in a sense that I believe life continues on.
Really?
And I thought, the brightness and dimness of the auras were how one lives one's life, so to speak. So that's one of the major things that really has changed with me since then is I want to live my life so my aura, when it leaves, is very bright.
That's one of my favorite stories.
I'm not sure Oprah should be hearing this.
From the Oprah show. That man survived a plane crash in 2007. And I love hearing that story because he, in fact, is an atheist. He doesn't have any
She is pretty.
religious or spiritual practice at all. But when his plane went down and he looked around and saw all of these burning bodies, he remembers seeing a light leave them. And he said that some of their lights were very bright and some of their lights were very dim and some of their lights were just regular. And he said that he wants his light to just be as bright as possible when he leaves this world. And that's what we should strive for. We should strive to make our light as bright as possible, whether you believe it or not. Energy is transferable. And what I mean by that is when you interact with someone, they can pick up what you are giving off. So whenever someone interacts with me, I want them to feel good in my presence. I want them to leave the conversation inspired. So I just want this to be a little inspiration that whatever your religious or spiritual practice is, just be light.
Okay, since the Obamas are in headlines right now, and I don't think they're going anywhere, I just wanted to talk about Michelle because it's come to my attention that there are still people who don't know about Big Mike.
The first gay president or the first woman
we already
president?
have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
a transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Joan Rivers, legend who sacrificed the truth for humanity. These are probably nothing. You know what's interesting? You can find these old pictures, but you know what you can't find? A picture of Michelle pregnant. It's probably nothing.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
And men and women of the finest military in the world. And most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah. Michael and I also want to acknowledge
Michael and I,
your son Jack, who's deployed today. All of you have performed extraordinary service to our country.
Big Mike. And lastly, if you were like a transgender, aka somebody with a severe mental illness, if you were transitioning into somebody new, wouldn't you write a story like becoming that new person? It's right in front of our faces, you guys, and people still can't see.
Joan Rivers was murdered for saying this on national TV.
But at Disney, this guy is posting this video, $86 for a pizza.
Like, so we're at Alien Pizza Planet, right? And I'm looking at the prices and their pizzas and all that. Look at how much they're charging for a whole pizza, guys. Whole 16-inch pizza. Pepperoni, $86.
$86 for a pizza. Come on, you gotta feed your family. You're at Disney. It has to be magical, right? It's $85. They can't even like tell this to you with a straight face, you know? You, the customer, and then the employee goes, $86, and the employee goes, yeah, I know. Like they roll your eyes, like there's some corporate entity in the background. We're on your side. Absolutely ripping you off, and the server's like, yeah, it's just my job. It's just... Let me know if you want the pizza.
Don't participate in Disney anything.
Brooke Shields, 10 years old and posing bare for Playboy. Yes, this really happened. And yes, Hollywood, like always, got away with it. This is the story of Brooke Krista Shields, who was born on May 31st, 1965 in Manhattan, New York, to actress model mother Terry Shields and business father Frank Shields. Her paternal grandparents were from England, Germany, Scottish, Irish, and Wales, while her maternal grandparents were from England, France, Ireland, and Italy. Her mother grew up in a working-class family, but her father grew up very wealthy from nobility. Following Terry's pregnancy announcement, Frank's family arranged for a financial settlement to be paid to her in order to have the pregnancy surgically terminated. So her father's family was pretty wealthy, and they did not want this pregnancy to go on. So, yeah, they were trying to protect their son, Terry, or whatever. So they tried to pay her off, but she lied to them, took the money. She accepted the payment, but broke the terms of the contract by having the child. Now, Frank married Terry, but they were divorced when Shields was 5 months old. Her mother made it clear she wanted her daughter to pursue a career in the entertainment industry when she was just 5 days old. Not 5 years old, 5 days old, you guys. Her mother had already looked at her and saw money. This is a direct quote from her mother. She said, "She's the most beautiful child, and I'm going to help her with her career." Shields learned to play the piano, dance, ballet, and ride horses as a kid. Joseph stated that her first encounter with the paparazzi was in the Grand Ballroom of the Waldorf Astoria, New York, at the age of 12, stating that she stood like a statue, wondering why they were all hired to photograph me, and that she debuted at the War Door shared in her high school diploma from Dwight Englewood in Englewood, New Jersey in 1983. In 1987, Princeton University alumni, she majored in French literature as an undergraduate, both the Princeton Triangle Club and the Princeton Cap and Gown Society.
You know, so happy she turned out normal after her crazy childhood.
He was watching.
Is she normal though? I don't know.
Watching YouTube Kids in the cartoon form, and it taught him how to hang himself. Luckily, my wife, something told my wife, she was like, you know, she wants something to drink. So I was going up to the kitchen, and usually when I walk past his bedroom, he usually would chase after me and then I would hide, and we would always have this little game where I would hide, and then same place I would hide, but it was just something that we did. And this time he didn't follow me out. So something was like, just go check on him and see if he's sleeping or not. And I go in and he's hanging from the bunk bed. Take him off, lay him down. And,
oh God.
Me and my wife start working on him. We call the people to come get him, to come help out. And, they get him to breathing again. They take him out. They get him to the hospital. They save him. He's in a coma for like 3 days, medically induced in coma for like 3 days. He wasn't the only kid that was.
Thank you, God.
A victim of this social media challenge. It's called the Hangman Challenge. It basically teaches kids how to hang themselves. And a lot of other kids have died. Luckily, my son's still here. He's still here for a reason.
Oh God. Oh.
Absolutely none of the NASA worshippers are ready for this one. So in 1962, 3 men escaped from Alcatraz without a trace, completely vanished from one of the highest security and hardest to escape prisons in America. They just gone. And then 7 years later, these 3 men land on the moon, stepping onto the world stage. Now, is it just me, or do these faces look eerily similar? Maybe you guys don't see it yet, but let me show you. Here are the 3 escapees from Alcatraz prison that got away with life vests, apparently. And here's the 3 men that landed on the moon: Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins, and Neil Armstrong. They couldn't possibly all be a match, right? They couldn't all be the same people. Let's start with Neil, though. Let's see the overlay on Neil here. Whoa. Damn. That is shockingly the exact same facial features. What a striking coincidence. Have a look at Michael Collins now. Damn. I mean, maybe the nose. Nope, it's looking. Whoa. Yeah. Very interesting stuff, guys. Again, entertainment purposes only here. This is strictly for entertainment. Let's have a look at Buzz Aldrin here. The guy that says that we never went to the moon, by the way. He won't admit it. He says that we never went. Let's overlay the face. Damn. You know when children ask him why we haven't been to the moon, and he's like, because we didn't go. We haven't gone to the moon. And here these men are heroes, still standing vindicated. But the eyes are useless when the mind is blind. NASA believers. Bah, bah.
Don't believe it? What cool theory.
I would like to tell the people of the world, the parents, the guardians, on a few things that they should be watching out for. When the person is paying more attention to the child than being with the adults. They go to a party, but there's children there. And he spends more time with the children than he does with the adults at the party.
Red flag.
Red flag. Definitely red.
Oprah is red flag.
This is not the same thing as Bill Clinton's new photos. Trump is surrounded by hot blondes. Bill Clinton is surrounded by 12-year-olds.
Why the hell is Paramount and Disney trying to bully the only Christian movie out right now? Little movie called David, produced by Angel Studios. Paramount and Disney, the allegations, as I hear them, they're bullying these theaters to not run David. What are they so afraid of? Now, this is ironic, isn't it? The movie David is about David and Goliath. Now, if I'm looking at this setup here, Paramount, Disney, they certainly would be the Goliaths. Angel Studios, this little film called David, most certainly be David. This is ironic. The Goliaths of Hollywood coming after Angel Studios. But here's what it's about, in my opinion. A war on Jesus, a war on God, but more importantly, Disney and Paramount, they want their monopoly. They don't want Angel Studios coming in with an animated film like David, which is going to knock the socks off of kids everywhere, and adults for that matter. So what do? They use their power and their muscle like a mob boss to try to squash Angel Studios. I say enough is enough. If these allegations are true, I wouldn't spend money with Disney or Paramount anymore, because this is not what America's about.
you don't mind, I'm not going to
Agree.
post this, but yeah. So tell me about Benadryl, because I've been taking this shit since I was a kid. So to go to sleep, really, it's helped me with. But she just educated me on the fact that Benadryl does a lot more than just like make you go to sleep. So tell me what did you just tell me?
So Benadryl is classified as an antihistamine, but so it's good for allergies. It has a effect of drowsiness.
It does.
But the whole reason that you get that drowsy effect is because it's an anti-acetylcholinogenic.
Okay.
So it blocks your brain from receiving acetylcholine, which is a vital neurotransmitter that is responsible for your memory, your cognitive function, your nervous system, autonomic, central, peripheral, all of it. And extended use of Benadryl for a period of 2 to 3 months increases your risk of developing dementia and Alzheimer's by 60%.
Wow.
That is not a joke, bro!
But you taking it every night? You need to meet with your doctor.
Yes. So I would actually travel in the spirit, astral projection, to influence, I don't know, lust or something on a Christian. And in the spirit, I would see like a dome, like a blue dome, over groups of Christians that were praying, or just through all those experiences, I connected that we could not attack Christians as they were actively praying protection from God. Like, there was a no-go zone. Just absolutely no power. So I love it now. Like, yes, thank you, God. But back then, it made me very angry. It made the demons very angry.
California passed a law where anybody can pick your kids up from school without having to call the parents. That is the child trafficking law. That's giving the right to anybody to come and pick your child up, because they've been scoping your child out, walking to school at lunch and all that shit, and say, I picked that one. And then call the school and say, I'm here to pick up the fucking child. And your child is missing forever. Child trafficking. California's one of California's biggest exports is children. Keep your eyes on your kids. I'm telling you.
76% of Pakistanis in Bradford marry their first cousins.
I know.
Pakistanis make up 3%. Pakistani men make up 3% of the UK population, or Pakistanis do. They're responsible for 33% of child defects at birth.
I've seen.
They are being born retarded. It's costing us a fortune. It's costing the economy a fortune. It's billions and billions because Muhammad married his cousin. Yes. Well, I don't care what Muhammad done in the 7th century, because he was a barbarian warlord. So enacting what he done, no, it's no longer right. It's never been right, and it has to stop in Great Britain.
For those of you who are not aware, we've all learned that Ed Warren kept a 15-year-old girl that he got from a bus. He picked her up on a school bus and kept her as a partner against her will. She says at least at 15 she would have been, and then up through the ages, and that Lorraine knew about it the entire time. It's crazy business to me that nobody else is mentioning this.
It pisses me off so much anytime I see anything about those two. That should outweigh any of their other legacy.
First of all, they're scam artists.
Yes, completely. Second of all, they're criminals and sex predators. So didn't he get her pregnant?
It is my understanding one of the allegations is that he impregnated her and that the couple paid for her to obtain an abortion.
But again, anytime the Warrens come up and it's not preceded with sex predator couple, Ed and Lorraine Warren, I'm just like, everyone's burying the lead. And I really don't think a lot of people know.
Wow, this is the first time I'm hearing this.